Hello, Cappy, or should I say Mars in Cappy? Because I have to say, I have the strangest feeling coming into your reading today. It's like I've gone into some kind of like mirror world of like, oh, I'm going to explain it to you in a minute, but it's the weirdest feeling. I think because I get so pally with Cappy energy. There's something about when I do Capricorn readings that I feel like I'm sort of like having a cup of coffee with my best friend. And now because I'm doing a Capricorn reading, right, but it's not going to be for the same people that I normally read for Capricorn, because because if you're Capricorn Sun Moon Rising, you may have a different Mars placement, and so it's so strange to me. It's like you're not you. It's the weirdest feeling. And even to the fact that normally I have a cup of coffee in my Capricorn readings, and I've got green tea today because I've got a bit of a cold. My kids are back at school, first week back in, and I've got a cold. I'm like, great, perfect. So it's just really strange. It's like I'm not talking to, if you're here and you're normally one of my Capricorn viewers, it's like I'm not talking to you. I feel like I'm talking to your dad. It's the weirdest feeling. And now no, I'm just going to go for it. I'm just going to explain what I'm getting. I spoke to my dad yesterday. He came around to the house. It was my son's birthday, the Ides of March. So I'm doing this recording a bit in advance. But my dad came round and I had a chat with him. And so I've got my own dad on my mind. And I feel like I need to go and look up my dad's birth chart. I've not done this, but I'm like, has my dad got Mars in Capricorn? Because it's down to things like, I was kind of putting my jewellery on, and normally I always wear my bracelet on this hand, and I tend to have the ring on this hand. And I couldn't fasten it on this. It's like my hands have swapped. It's the weirdest feeling. I couldn't fasten the clasp on this hand, so I had to like put it on this way. It feels like my hands are vice versa. Now I'm right-handed and my dad is left-handed. So it's like my right hand. I was trying to write and I couldn't write properly with my right hand. It's the strangest feeling. I literally feel like I'm flipped, like everything's vice versa, like I'm backwards. It's so strange. So I don't know what this is, but I'm like, I need to look up my dad's birth chart. But Mars in Capricorn is quite a dad energy. And another reason why I'm saying this is your song that I randomized for you is Party Favor by Billie Eilish. And she says, if you don't stop, I'm going to call you dad. So I don't know, I'm getting all this like weird dad energy. I don't know why. I don't know if that makes any sense to you, or if you're thinking, hey, I do not identify as a dad. What is this? Maybe you need to call your dad. I don't know. But she says as well in that song, so I was thinking about this, I was like looking at my own hands and thinking, I feel like, and it's so strange as well, because as I was brushing my teeth last night, I touched the mirror with my left hand. I think I was listening to a song and I just kind of got the urge. It's such a weird random urge, and now I feel like I'm my mirror self. It's the weirdest thing. It's so strange. And then literally I was thinking about this, and in that song, Party Favor by Billie Eilish, she says, words don't make sense if you're reading backwards. Now, my dad has dyslexia, so I don't know. It's the weirdest thing. Isn't that a weird coincidence? There's no such thing as coincidences when it comes to tarot, but it's so strange. I've literally, like, look, if you look at my notes, I always have terrible handwriting, but here I was like, I really feel like my right hand is not my main hand. So I've got here, like, this note, everything, I put my jewellery on and I made this note, everything feels a bit backwards. And then I randomised Party Favour. So you can see words don't make sense if you're reading backwards. Like, isn't that weird? Oh, so it's the strangest feeling. So as I say, if you are Capricorn Sun, Capricorn Sun as well. Sun as in, I was talking about sun as in the sun in the sky, but sun is the word for a child. It's the weirdest feeling today. I'm not reading for Capricorn sun signs particularly, because I'm reading for Capricorn energy. If you're coming in here and you have strong Capricorn placements in other areas, you may feel like it still resonates, some of the stuff still applies, but you know, we're all complex human beings. We all have a full birth chart, which is affected by all the different planets at the time of our birth and the way that planets are currently moving in our chart. So no two Capricorns are going to be exactly the same. So I may be talking to somebody here who is Aries star sign, Aries sun sign, but they have Mars in Capricorn, which kind of, it's almost a contradiction, because Aries is normally a very impulsive energy, a very kind of like this sounds fun, this looks good, I'm really enthusiastic about this, I'm going to go and do it, I'm not going to put much thought into it. But Capricorn in Mars is like very, very weighted. It's very steady. It's very goal orientated. It's very patient. So you may find that you have a particular sun sign and your Mars sign can kind of offset that. So as I sort of described to you what that Mars placement in Capricorn energy means, you just be aware that you may have other things going in on your chart that kind of contradict that or weight it in some way. So Mars is all about how you take action, what makes you passionate, what happens when you get angry, how do you approach your sex life, these kind of things. So it's a very yang action-based energy. So really, really think about how you, what happens when you're going to do something, when you're planning something, when you want to take action, or when you have some sort of goal. This is what Mars affects. So yeah, if you don't know what your placement is, your Mars placement, there's a link in the description box down below. You can go and click that. It's for Cafe Astrology or Astrology Cafe. I always get it the wrong way around, again, mixing up words. So you can go and click that. You just need to put in your date of birth, basically. If you know your time of birth and your place of birth, you can add that as well. It doesn't matter if it's a little bit vague. Basically, your date of birth is the most important thing. It's going to give you the most information. It's going to give you a huge like essay of information about your birth chart. It's a free service as well, so it's amazing. This is why I use it. I'm not sponsored or anything like this, but yeah, you can go and click that. It'll give you a huge amount of information. Just go and try and find out what your Mars placement is. This is what we're looking at today. What is your Mars placement? If it's not Capricorn, you may want to go and have a look at the reading that applies to your Mars sign. Right, okay, I think I've waffled on enough there. Mars in Capricorn is very dad energy. It's very measured. It's quite patient and calm. It's quite level-headed, very grounded, very earthy. So when you may find my Mars placement is Sagittarius. So when there's some kind of new project on the go, when I'm going to do something new, I get super excited and super enthusiastic. It's like I throw so much energy into it, but then I kind of burn out and get excited for the next thing, right? I'm not very good at seeing things through to completion all the time. So, but this is kind of like Mars in Capricorn is the opposite of that. Mars in Capricorn, they may not particularly seem very enthusiastic at the start. They may be a little bit kind of like looking at the details, figuring things out. They may be a little bit subdued when there's something new starting. Now, that doesn't mean that they're not excited. It just means they have a very level-headed approach to the project. The words that they use at Cafe Astrology is low-key determined. Low-key determined. So it's like, yes, we're doing this. I'm going to figure out how, and I'm going to stick with it and persevere until we see it through to completion. Because Mars in Capricorn is very, very goal orientated. You may have very clear ambitions. You may have very clear goals, wishes and dreams that are very well defined, very well thought out. So you absolutely know where you're going and how you're going to get there. Normally, again, depends on your other placements. You may have a Gemini moon like me, which makes you a scatterbrain. I don't know. So people with Mars in Capricorn tend to be very natural achievers. Success tends to come quite easily for them because they are naturally orientated that way. They naturally are very well paced. They naturally have this perseverance energy that gets them to the finish line. So yeah, normally success comes pretty easily for people with Mars in Capricorn. When somebody with a Mars in Capricorn placement is angered, when that kind of fuel is lit inside them, they may not be the type of person to rant and rave. They may actually be quite cool and quite level-headed about the whole situation. They may also avoid confrontation and things by throwing themselves into work. So for example, if somebody had a turbulent home life, the parents were always arguing, or being too demanding, or the spouse was being confrontational, someone with a Capricorn Mars placement would tend to be like, I'm just going to stay a bit longer at work, I'm going to just go into the garden shed and kind of work on my hobbies. I've got something important. I've got an important thing to fix under the sink. I've got this deadline to hit. So it's not so much avoidant as kind of in a similar way, I think, to kind of Sagittarian in Mars. It's more like, I'm not going to waste energy on this. I'm going to do something that's more productive. So it's quite level-headed in that way. So yeah, using work as an avoidance technique to deal with confrontation is quite typical of Mars in Capricorn. This placement is very self-controlled. So it's very, it's funny because I'm sort of comparing it to Mars in Taurus, but also Mars in Scorpio in a lot of respects. Mars in Scorpio, I did their reading and they scared me. I was like, you're scary people. But you've kind of got a lot of the good aspects or good similarities to Mars in Scorpio, because there's this kind of very, very determined, very like almost like strong masculine. Again, you can be feminine or other. Doesn't matter how you identify in terms of like your gender orientation. It's more to do with like the energy. So this kind of like yang energy of kind of like being very in control, very similar to Mars in Scorpio. So very in control of yourself and probably the situation around you. You don't necessarily tend to, again, depends on your placement. Maybe you've got Gemini in there somewhere, you like going having the parties, but Mars in Capricorn, you may find it quite hard to let go of the control, to be very wild and free. That may not come very natural to you. It may feel a bit wrong. You know, this thing about my hands being, it's like everything feels wrong to me. If everything feels opposite to me today, it's the weirdest feeling. However, so may not be very wild, may not let go, but in the bedroom, Mars in Capricorn tends to be very, very sensual, a very earthy, grounded lover. So you may enjoy, the idea of having food as part of your seduction technique, something like this, because it's that association with kind of earthly pleasures, right? Plants, nature, all to do with this, like earth sign energy. So a little bit smoldery, perhaps. Yeah, I think that's pretty much everything I've got from my notes. Not self-indulgent, but disciplined. So yeah, you may have a lot of self-control. You may be very good at kind of sticking to a diet, or again, depends on all your other placements, or being very paced. You also are very good at planning for the future. You're one of the aspects of all the different placements that anyone could have that's very, very, very good at kind of setting those clear goals for the future, knowing where you're heading. So you may be very good at saving money. You may already have plans for your retirement, right? You may be 20 with plans for your retirement. That's very much this kind of energy. Right, I think that is good. So the only thing I was getting from Party Favour with Billie Eilish, with this kind of sense of finding it quite hard to let go, and really wanting to kind of like stick to the plan. You may be a little bit like, I'm not your party favour. I'm not like your good time girl. I'm here for the long run. Don't treat me like you're something that you can use and discard. That is not going to work for somebody with this placement. It's you want to know that their situation is going somewhere, I think. Yeah. Okay, I'm just going to have a sip of my green tea because I can already feel my throat is getting scratchy. I'll be back with you in a minute. Okie dokie. So let's get you a card then to find out what's going on for you at the moment. So when you come to this reading, and this reading is going to go live on Thursday. So Mars in Capricorn for Thursday, please. Animals. Yeah, again, talking about this kind of very grounded, earthy energy. This is companionship and animals. You may find that you do enjoy the companionship of animals. Capricorn is a very nurturing energy, so you may enjoy having animals around you, animals as pets. I'm getting horses for somebody. You may find that you get a lot of personal value from caring for animals, from seeing them happy. Also, I'm really getting like the fur. I can feel fur. So that kind of earthly connection with an animal, with flora and fauna, is probably quite quite pleasing to you. I mean, that's going to apply to a lot of people, right? But you may be slightly more inclined to have, a very close connection with your pets, or you may be more inclined to have a bit of a Noah's Ark thing going on there, a bit of a, maybe you've got a few more pets than the average person. Maybe the average person might have a cat, a cat and a goldfish, I don't know, a dog and a hamster, but you may have kind of a bit of a Noah's Ark thing going on here of like one of every animal, possibly for somebody. Groundedness and gravity. Yeah, again, talking about, look at all the animals again. You may find you get a lot of how I'm just trying to think how to put this. You may feel very grounded, and like you have, like you're calm around animals. So if you're having a stressful day, maybe you've had a stressful day at work, maybe you're having a bit of conflict with some family, family issues to solve, you may find that spending time with animals or going out in nature is particularly helpful for you in calming the nerves, in finding that inner peace. It could be that nature kind of feels like your sanctuary. Now, the interesting thing is, and I wasn't going to mention this for the readings, I was going to save it for a Tell Me Anything reading. I don't know if you can hear the birds, if I'm just quiet for a second. Now, I don't know if you can hear that. I've got the window open today. It's quite a wet day, but the birds are really chattering. I kind of walked my son to school and walked back again, and the crows are about. Now, the crows kind of are quite symbolic for me. It's an animal that's kind of one of my spirit animals. I pay attention to what they're up to. And the crows are definitely out and about today, but I've seen pigeons, I've heard seagulls, all the little tiny birds are chirping in the trees. So all the birds, I was really, and something's going on with the birds today. There's a message trying to come through with the birds, and it's interesting that it's like all the birds that are local to me seem to be around today. So, my head's right. If you're new to my readings, if you don't know this about me and how I get the messages through, I've only been doing it since about last Christmas. It's not something I planned to do, it's just something that happened to me. But it comes with this feeling of like the right side of my skull, like almost like near my temple. When I'm about to get the kind of visuals through and the audio stuff through, it's like my skull's opening. It's like there's a kind of a portal or a channel in my skull, and it feels, so I get like a tingly sensation, and then it just feels like my skull's opening up like this, and then I start to get the intuitive messages through. So I'm here listening to the bird song and I can feel my skull opening. So that's what that is, if you hear me talking about that. So we may get a lot of intuitive messages through. You may have a sense of almost like a Dr. Dolittle ability to kind of talk to animals, or you may be very good at sensing what's wrong with animals. So say you may be a vet, but kind of like, this is the example they're giving me. So somebody who works with animals, who perhaps if there was a sick animal, they're showing me a sick cat, it doesn't have to be, but they're showing me a sick cat, and it's like this, there's something wrong with this animal, they're acting strangely, they're acting out of sorts, but you don't know what's wrong with them. You may be very, very good at kind of tuning into that animal's energy and really kind of zeroing in on what's wrong. You may be very intuitive when it comes to the needs and the feelings of animals. Now, some people, it's funny as well, because this morning, everything that happens in or around a reading is normally part of the reading. There's significance to everything, there's pattern to everything. I'm vegetarian. I've been vegetarian for quite a few years now. And it's not because I don't like meat. A lot of people are saying, why do you want, if you're vegetarian, why do you want a burger? Why do you want food that looks like meat, that's not made of meat? And it's because I like meat. I like sausages. I love sausages. Like meat lasagna, cannelloni, chorizo, chicken. Like, oh, it's so good. Like, I know what it tastes like, and I enjoy it. It's really tasty, right? I'm not eating meat because I don't like meat. What? That's stupid. Like, well, well, no, it's not stupid, but like that's not the reason. I don't eat meat because I feel like animals have feelings. I feel like you can make a connection with animals. You can go, I've gone and sat in a field with cows and had a picnic, and they've come up to me and kind of laid down around me. You can look into an animal's eyes. You can see that animals feel pain. You can see that animals have feelings, and the idea of taking a life, like, obviously, if I absolutely had to, if I was starving, maybe I would. If I was on a desert island and there was nothing to eat and there was a chicken, I might eat the chicken. If it was like the life or death situation. But when I live in a very advanced society, when there are options available to me, when there's, if you go in a supermarket and see such a variety of food, I don't have to kill animals to live. Why should I take what right do I have to take a life in order to feed my life? What right do I have? If you think about how much, say chicken, if you're a meat eater, how much chicken do you eat over your lifetime? How many chickens are killed so that you can live? It just feels wrong to me. It just feels really, really wrong. And especially if you have pets, if you've got a cat or a dog or a horse and you have a connection and you have a bond with that, then how can you go out and eat a burger that is like a mammal? It's a big animal, big animal with feelings and thoughts. And just because they can't communicate that with us doesn't mean that they don't have them. Doesn't mean that we're somehow superior and we get to do what we want and murder animals so that we can live. I'm sorry if you are a meat eater. I don't mean to be preaching to you. I'm not trying to convert you in any shape or form. My children, I buy meat for my children. My children eat meat. It's their choice. So I'm not the sort of person who's like trying to convert everybody else. I'm literally just explaining to you my perspective and my reasoning for not eating meat. But this morning, it was my son's birthday yesterday, and I had a bit of a buffet going on for him. And one of the things that I got for him, because he really likes it, is chorizo. And chorizo's so tasty. And this is the thing, I can remember what it tastes like. I've not eaten meat for well over a year, like not touched meat for well over a year now. And when I first started to be vegetarian, it was very difficult for me because I still craved the food. But the longer that I've gone without it, the easier it gets. I crave it less. But I opened the fridge this morning and the packet of chorizo was open and it smelled so good. And I was like, I think my resolve is breaking here. I think I'm going to have a piece of chorizo. And I was talking to my son about it. And he said, but you're vegetarian, Mum. And I said, but it's just one piece. And I really, really want it. And he was like, he was really sort of like offended, even though he was sat there eating it. He was like, you can't, you're vegetarian. Like, he was like, it's your morals. And so I said, would you think bad of me? Would you think less of me if I had a piece? And he said, yeah. He was like, Mum, you cannot eat meat. You're vegetarian. That's not okay. And it's funny as well, his best friend in school is from a Muslim family, so he doesn't eat, he eats halal. So my son was taking in all the like little Haribo sweets for his classmates, and he took in some halal Haribo for his friend. So he's very conscious of kind of like people's dietary choices. And I don't know why this is coming through so much, but there's always a reason when I get into this kind of like story mode. Again, that Capricorn energy, you may find that like people, if you've got strong Cappy in your chart, you may find that people just confide in you. It's such a companionable energy. Like, I feel like I could chat with Capricorn energy for days. Capricorn's there, like, I've got work to do. But yeah, so there's something to do with like, there's something coming through with that. There's a reason why I'm telling you this story with all these animals on the cards. And again, the more of a connection you have with animals, I think the harder it is to eat them, right? It's like there's a reason why in Western society a lot of people find it so appalling. The idea that some people eat dogs and cats is like, but they're pets. But why are dogs and cats pets? But why do we find it appalling to eat dogs and cats but not horses? And horses and giraffes? It's like, I wouldn't eat a giraffe. I mean, I know that some people eat kangaroo burgers. You know, I wouldn't eat a wolf. What are you talking about? That's appalling. But then we eat cows. Like, why do we eat some animals and not other animals? It doesn't make any sense. Like, why do we value? Why does one life have more value than another? Is the way that this is coming through, and I don't know why that's coming through so strongly. I don't know why that's probably took me about 10 minutes of ranting, but it wanted to come through, so there it is. What else do we have, please, for Mars and Cappy? Mars and Cappy. Mars and Cappy. When you have an emotional connection with something, it's harder to just cut them out of your life, maybe. Things have more value if you have a personal emotional connection to it. And this may be something to do with your perception of somebody's worth and the perception of others as somebody's worth, perhaps. Bison, again, more animals, ritual. This talks about hearing the drumbeat, knowing that you have some sort of calling. I'm going to read the story of that to you, actually. And then wolf, again, it's funny that I was noticing that wolf there. And then wolf is in the reverse. So this says authenticity. I'm really noticing the size of that wolf in comparison to this person. It's sort of giving me like a David and Goliath vibe of, like, you know, this evil, almost like an evil energy. And this poor person who's like in this water. It's like hard to move in the face of this danger because you're in the wrong environment. But they're standing up to it. And they're very calm, and they've got that spear. But in the reverse, this is saying to me somebody's not being authentic. Is somebody like a wolf in sheep's clothing? Is somebody moving away from a situation where they feel like there is a sense of like somebody not being authentic, whether that's you or somebody else, and hearing a call to move towards fruit, black bat, flying fox, kindness, and then these rabbits as well. So this card is literally called kindness, and this card is very gentle as well with like the rabbits. So somebody's moving away from, I'm just really noticing the white as well, just you'll know why in a second, this kind of pinky white colour of the dress, and then this here with the red crowned crane, loyalty, with this white dress. Right, okay. Okay, I think I know what this is saying. So somebody's moving away from either a person or a situation that is not authentic, where somebody's being a wolf in sheep's clothing, where somebody's being oppressed. I'm getting oppressed. Kept in a place because of fear. They're hearing a call to move away from that to something that is kind and gentle. And some people are afraid of bats, right? Some people are scared of bats. But here she's literally feeding this bat from a hand. So something to do with, as I was saying, like the perception of an animal. Why would you eat one animal and not another? Like, that's a pet, that's a pet, that's a predator, that's food. And then there's a wolf in sheep's clothing. And then moving to something that other people may fear, but you see the kindness in it. You see standing up to something. Maybe the wolf is trying to scare somebody. Maybe it's not a threat at all. It's just because this person's calm. So this wolf is trying to scare someone. But this person understands its nature and perhaps sees beyond the surface of what this is, because they see that this person's just trying to protect. You know, a wolf, you know, maybe this is a lone wolf, but a wolf normally has a family, right? This person's just trying to protect the family. So something to do with, I just heard showing the teeth, trying to scare somebody. Scorpio had a reading like this a while back where it was like, it was one of the last few readings that I did for Scorpio, and it was like there was this energy outside of Scorpio where somebody was trying to scare them. Someone was trying to kind of get them off balance and be very domineering and like a big bully basically. And it was almost like Scorpio had to stand up to this energy and show them their teeth and show them they're not meant to be messed with. And then this other person would back down. And it was almost a test. It was almost like this person was testing them to see if... it's like this person would respect Scorpio more if Scorpio bared the teeth and stood up to them. It's like, can I bully you or are you on my level? Something like that. But this is... why are they doing that though? What's under the surface? Why are they acting like that? And this is the thing that people say about bullies, right? People who are bullies in like the school ground, normally it's because there's something wrong with their life and they're trying to hide it. They're trying to front. Like, it's always a front, isn't it? Right, okay, let's read from the book because I really want to kind of like get some of the stories out of these two cards. Just to kind of say, this deck here is the Divine Animals Oracle. So this is all the cards in this deck have animals on. This deck doesn't. This deck is the Elemental Oracle. So this has things like sky or magnetism and things. They're not all animals in this deck, but it's funny that you've got the two cards with animals on. So animals are super important in your reading for some reason. And now another, again, there's no such thing as coincidence in tarot. Everything has rhyme and reason to it. And part of the thing about tuning into your intuition and seeing the signs from the universe is being able to spot the patterns. Now, just to show you the two cards that you got from this deck, this one is Bison Ritual, okay? And this one is Wolf Authenticity. So this is the authenticity card. But when I read from the Bison card, it says... the first words, and I can show you, Bison, live with authenticity. So the Bison card and the Wolf card are both about being authentic. Live with authenticity and peace. Do not live how other people wish you to live. Your life is yours. Bringing the piece of ritual into our lives can heal us. Nourish yourself and develop habits that are beneficial and useful for you and your family. I'm just remembering as well. It's so weird because do you remember when I was saying it was like everything was backwards? It's like I wasn't myself. I'd suddenly become like this mirror version of myself where I was like almost like my right hand I wasn't right-handed anymore, and it was the strangest feeling. And this is what I think is coming through again, this feeling of like somebody being inauthentic, somebody... I'm thinking about a story about my dad. He when he was growing up, he went to a school where he was taught by nuns, I think in Nigeria. It was like a Christian Catholic school in Nigeria, and he they were forced to write with the right hand because the left hand was associated with the devil, right? Oh, yeah, sure, nuns, whatever. But so they forced my dad, who's naturally left-handed, to write with his right hand. And there's something barbaric about that and very cruel that I don't think should be part of, people who purport to be, somebody particularly religious, somebody who purports to be on the side of good, and then they're forcing children to use their, torturing children. Like literally hitting his hand with a ruler if he used his left hand. So, again, this thing about animals and like, what is good and what isn't good, and reassessing, reevaluating, perhaps the conditioning of your childhood, perhaps the rules that you've been told. Well, why, when you look at things and you boil it down, what does it fit with your personal values? Is it really bad? Is that thing that people have told you about, is writing with your left hand really bad? Or are there better things to worry about? Or is the real evil in the world, like nuns who hit children's hands with rulers? Which is the worst thing here? Writing with your left hand or hitting a child? I think I know which one is worse. And that's not me saying, all religion is bad. I'm definitely not saying that. I just think sometimes people follow the rules without actually questioning the rules. Sometimes people follow scripture without questioning the scripture. And at the end of the day, a lot of the earthly manifestations of religion that we have are written by humans, and humans are fallible. Humans are writing through their own personal lens of their own situation. So I think, it's really important to find that authentic soul connection to, if you believe in God, then God or the universe, and to have that very, if you're going again with Christian tradition says that God is omnipresent. He's in everything. He's part of everything. Everything is one big manifestation of God, right? So therefore, you are a part of God. You are a manifestation of God on earth. God is within you. So why do you need to go to church? Why do you need to read a book? Why do you need to... Because these are actually manifestations of the power structures and interests of selfish men or selfish people and selfish humans on earth who are actually trying to control a population and probably have a lot of self-interest there, where the actual connection between you and God... Again, this is not necessarily my personal belief system, and I'm not trying to push anything on anyone. I am just reading what I'm getting through today. Your soul, your own soul, your heart, your ability to love is the closest thing to God on earth. It's the closest thing to God in your life. What does your intuition tell you? That's God speaking directly to you, in my opinion. And I say this as somebody who believes in everything and nothing, right? I am not particularly religious, but she says that, saying that her skull's opening up and she's getting things being directly into her head. But I would say that your soul, what makes you uniquely you, you are a manifestation of God on earth, right? So again, this is just philosophy. Don't come at me and try and argue with me about this. I don't care. I'm just giving you ideas, and if you discard them, that's absolutely fine. Yeah. What's your drumbeat telling you? What's your authenticity? The chief of the Lakota tribe was trying to lead his people through a time of great famine. The buffalo had deserted them, and no rain had fallen. He decided to send out 2 strong scouts to look for food. As they travelled through difficult country, they found little, but kept going. As they walked, they saw a lovely woman dressed in shining white upon the horizon. Told you that white was something. One of the scouts immediately lusted after the woman and shared with his companion that if she was as beautiful close up as she looked from afar, he would seize her as his wife. The other scouts saw beyond any desire and thought the woman looked otherworldly and perhaps was a sacred being. He shared his opinion with his friend and warned him against offending the young woman. It was soon clear that the first scout would take nothing of the second scout's advice. The first scout tried to hug and kiss the woman, and quickly a thick of white fog enfolded the two of them. Soon the cloud dispersed, and only the woman remained. The second scout became terrified and drew his bow in defence. However, the young woman soothed him in his own language and told him that there was nothing to fear. As she allowed him to step closer, he saw the dry bones of his more impertinent companion. Again, the scout became afraid and drew his bow, and again the woman calmed him and explained that she was divine, Wakan, and she could not be harmed by his bow. She introduced herself as Patesan Wee, white buffalo calf, and assured him that if Lakota did all that she asked, they would have a better, more prosperous and more peaceful life. White buffalo calf taught the Lakotas the right way to live and worship. She was also responsible for introducing the sacred pipe, the Chanunapa, I'm sorry that I don't know how to pronounce that, and the profound ritual that accompanied it. So, again, this person has seen beyond the superficial. The first person just saw the surface layer. Again, like Capricorn, like Sun sign had something like this in the last reading. The first person just saw the surface level and thought it was something that he could take, that he could possess, that he could own. And he offended this goddess who, it didn't end well for him. Where the second person looked beyond the surface and sensed the spiritual, sensed the soul, sensed the divine within this being. And that respect enabled this energy to gift him. I don't quite know what that means, but again, you can just take it as be authentic. Be authentic. So what does the Wolf card have to say? Yeah, I've got a feeling you're going to be the longest reading. I've got 13 minutes left and I've still got so many cards to pull. So I reckon I'm going to have to upload. It's funny that did you see how that just flipped itself upside down again? I wonder if do you have a Virgo placement possibly? So yeah, I think I'm going to have to upload half of this video and then come back and do the second half of this reading because it's going to be a long one. Wolf, Canis Lupus, authenticity. Discover who you really are by revealing your authenticity. This is the best way. This is the way. Mandalorian references. We all resonate a frequency. Again, talking about that soul, right? It's exactly what I was saying. We all resonate a frequency. So if you are pretending to be someone you are not, you will keep attracting people with whom you do not resonate. It is necessary to negotiate a position with others sometimes, and there should be no anxiety about differences in opinion. Mythos. Mythos means story, by the way, not necessarily something that's untrue. It's a Greek word. Skaoi, the plain-speaking Norse goddess of the mountains, wilderness and the unknown, was a powerful huntress, a lover of snow and a keeper of wolves. She lived in the profound silence of nature on the high plains, surrounded by her pack of wolves which helped her hunt and protect the realm. Although independent and beautiful, she decided it was time to be married. She demanded from the other gods a husband as recompense for the unlawful death of her beloved father, again this father thing, Pajazi. She chose the god Njoror as her new husband. I am very sorry if this is your culture and I'm mangling these names. They're unfamiliar to me. And as was customary, she moved to live within her new husband's house. Njoror, however, was a sea god who lived on an island that was always noisy with the mighty crashing of the waves and the screeching of the seabirds. All this constant and incessant noise was too much for Skaoi, who was used to the soft silence of the snow and the howling of her wolves. When she spoke of missing her true home and her desire to be more independent, she and Njoror negotiated and agreed to try alternating homes every 9 days. I was getting through for someone a while back this idea of it was a very specific story for someone where it was almost like they had met someone and they were kind of from two different places, so they were going to spend half the year in one place and half the year in the other. It's sort of to do with like border rules and visas and things like this. So I don't know if there's something going on like that for you. But again, this idea of negotiation. Njoror came to Skaoi's mountain home, but found it to be cold and desolate of life, so white, so quiet and depressing. He felt isolated and missed his home too. When dividing their time between Noatun and in Brahimheimer didn't work out, they decided to live apart but stay married. Skaoi then returned to her beloved mountains, where she hunted from her skis and lived with her cherished wolf packs. She would visit Njoror and he her when they most desired each other. Wolves feature in the mythos of almost all human societies that encounter them, which highlight their charisma and importance. For example, Rome was founded by Romulus and Remus, who were cared for and suckled by a she-wolf. Fenrir, the great Norse wolf, heralded Ragnarok, the end of the world, and the Celtic Morrigan kept wolves. So, something to do with marriage there. Maybe somebody has like an unconventional idea of marriage that other people don't understand, but it works for them. I don't know. What could it be? Right. I'm going to actually upload this part of the video to my computer before I've run out of time, and then we'll have the time for the second half of the reading. So I'll be back with you in a moment. Okay, all sorted. We have a bit more time. So it's interesting though. So far we've got this theme of like a very, very traditional energy, Capricorn energy, being very much about traditional values, about family, about kind of family values and traditions and these kind of things. So this very traditional energy, and then this theme about being very authentic to you personally, and also doing something that's quite unconventional. So interesting little thing we've got going through there. Let's just bob those over there like that. So what's the heart of the matter at the moment for the people who are coming to this reading today? and resonating with the things I'm saying. What is the heart of the matter, please? For Thursday for Mars in Capricorn. That is a fallout. Yeah, you could be having a big fallout with somebody about somebody wanting to be more authentic, while others are the Emperor in reverse. Yeah, could be falling out with that father figure, or somebody in a position of authority, or you are being very controlling and not understanding the truth of somebody else because you're clinging on to traditional values too much. So take that if it resonates, leave it if it doesn't. I'm going to bob the Emperor back in. I'm not going to look at these cards, but we're going to, I just need to make sure that I'm getting them upright though. Yeah. Can I just get 1 or 2 cards, please? Excuse me, for the heart of the matter. Okay, look at this again. I'm going to take strength as the central, as the heart of the matter, as the central issue. Strength, possibly with a bond with somebody else, strong bond with somebody else, a very supportive role here. It also talks about leadership, confidence, the ability to own your truth. But here with this secretive energy, I'm going to take this as one of the placements. There's this devil energy. Now this is the Capricorn card and the 4 of voices. So I was getting this feeling of like healing ancestral wounds. I think that's what I was trying to say before when I couldn't quite think of the words. So the devil talks about things that you're tied to, feeling very much like a puppet. Can you see here? She's like a puppet. So, and this is your energy. So either you're being the puppet master, manipulating the people around you, controlling people, keeping them tied to very possible, I'm seeing it as traditional values. Or you're the person transforming this, because you can see actually she's got this butterfly wing here, and there's a butterfly here above this kind of like hell-like cave. So the 4 of voices is the 4 of swords. It talks about healing. It talks about taking some time to think things through and to recover from something. So you could be recovering from feeling manipulated in some way, recovering from a situation where you felt very, very tied to something, very chained to something. It could be work, it could be traditions, it could be a number of things. But with the other cards that are around, I'm seeing this as you healing almost like ancestral conditioning or ancestral wounding. Social conditioning. So coming to terms with your own thoughts about what you've been told is right and wrong, and developing your own belief system that is possibly at odds with the belief system of those around you. Particularly could be a father figure with the Emperor in reverse, or a boss or an establishment, because I think you have this very strong connection. It could be with an animal. So again, it could be like you come from a family of meat eaters. It's funny, I was just talking about it again on social media. You could come from a family of meat eaters, and they don't understand why you want to be vegetarian, but you're like, I want to be vegetarian because I have this kinship with animals. I don't want to murder them for no reason, when I could go and eat, like, I mean, honestly, now there's so many brilliant vegetarian alternatives to meat. I barely miss meat anymore. Normally it's the first time in the longest time that I've actually been tempted to have anything. So I've been having like jackfruit, like barbecue jackfruit is amazing. It's quite similar to pulled pork. And it's just, we have corn in the UK, which there's so many corn products that are, I eat these corn escalopes that are just very, very similar to like a chicken breast, right? You just don't need to eat animals. There's just no need for it. So what else then? So what else is going on, please, for Mars in Capricorn? What else is going on, please, for Mars in Capricorn? Could be blocking someone or cutting something out of your life, or be very conflicted about making some sort of decision. This actually does talk about trust your instincts, your inner knowing, to make this choice. You could definitely be crossing swords with somebody. What did I see this as the other day? It was the first time I've ever read it like that. It was it's not coming back to me, so maybe that's not what it is for you. Let's keep going. 2 more cards, please, for this. Okay, you're giving me well more than 2, but I'll take this. There you go. There's that Emperor, but now they're in the upright. So a lot of nostalgia for some kind of person in authority, nostalgia for the past, nostalgia for a father figure. I'm picking up dad energy very, very strongly here. Thinking about your childhood, your childhood relationship to your father, or you are a father, you're thinking about some sort of nostalgia for the past. You don't even have to be a father, right? You could be he, she, or they, but the Emperor is somebody who is in control of a situation. The Emperor and the Devil together, this is potentially you being very, very controlling. Almost like manipulating the lives of the people around you, or I'm seeing it as conducting an orchestra today, being very much like the conductor of everybody's lives around you. So because you have this this very traditional placement, Mars in Capricorn, you may very actually be quite I'm the best person for the job, I know what I've got, my goals. You may be quite very, very fixed when it comes to your position and the relationship with those around you. Take that if it resonates, take it if it doesn't. For others of you, this is thinking about your childhood relationship with your father, thinking about some kind of past boss who perhaps was quite controlling, something like this. I do see you possibly blocking or cutting something out of your life, walking away from something, trusting your own instincts and your own intuition in this situation. The Chariot, the 9 of emotions, and the beautiful, oh my goodness, this is what we want to see. The Chariot, making that choice, finding the balance, having success, having reward and recognition. This is victory. This is the victory parade. It can also talk about literally cars, so getting in your car, following your dreams. The 9 of emotions talks about being very balanced internally. So this card says, no matter what's going on around you, you have that inner knowing. It's like when you find that purity, that authenticity of your own soul, when you find your own connection. Can you see all these like lines going up? It's like when you find your own authentic connection that is uniquely between you and God. This could talk about you and God, if you're religious. If you're not religious, maybe you and the universe, or just, you know, your own identity, what makes you you, regardless of anything else that's going on in your external circumstances. It's almost like I want my soul to be pure and happy and authentic, and I'm not going to let anything around me upset that inner equilibrium. So when you find that happiness from within, when you release all codependency, then you are actually in very, very high vibration. This is also really talking about success, successful outcome. The Chariot, again, is victory, and this can talk about wish fulfillment, dreams coming true, because you're in a high vibrational energy. And then this leaves you to your 10 of Cups. So this is you finding other people who match you and your high vibrational frequency, getting on the same level. You could actually be attending some sort of event, but interesting today for me today, I'm really noticing again, there's this kind of harnessing of energy. Can you see? Maybe it's somebody who literally may have horses, but I'm just really noticing how this person is almost like the puppeteer of these horses. And again, you've got this puppeteering energy. Could be a Cancerian that you're dealing with. Again, this puppet, like these are all saying puppeteer for me. Puppeteer. Maybe somebody does work with puppets. I don't know, but it's like. Then it goes to this. So this is taking yourself away, taking yourself out of the situation where you've been like a puppet on a string. Is that a song? And then you find your inner truth. Can you see like this is radiating out here? But then it like takes you up to this higher vibration. Can you see how it's almost like they don't quite match, but they almost match. So maybe that's what it is. You're going to find people who match your vibrational energy, who that you create something better with, a better life, a better future, a more authentic future. Because that's what this card was saying, wasn't it? Was it one of these 2 cards where it said, let me just find it again. Here we go. So this Bison card, what this was saying, if you just kind of see this as this. So at the bottom, I'm seeing this is you. And then this is like the people around you, whether that's co-workers, family, it could be everything, right? All the people that you interact with. So it says, live with authenticity and peace. Look how peaceful that is. Do not live how other people wish you to live. Your life is yours. Bringing the piece of ritual into our lives can heal us. Okay, what does that mean for you though? What's your ritual? Maybe it's doing yoga or meditation. Nourish yourself and develop habits that are beneficial and useful to you and your family, right? You being in this state of calm, emotional stability, really being in your strength, being in high vibrational emperor energy, right? Being a good leader, actually benefits the people around you. If you were in low vibrational energy, if you were I don't know, feeling down, feeling irritable, feeling if you were not pleasant to be around, that would make it horrible for the people around you. So having your own sense of ritual, having your own sense of when I get up, I need to go for a walk. When I get up, I need to do 10 minutes of meditation. Like getting your day off to a good start brings you into high vibrational energy. You've got a lot of interesting cards here actually. But there is something that you need to cut out. Again, this is like peace, relaxing, taking a long hot bath, having a spa day. But there is this kind of controlling energy going on for you. But this is all your energy. I'm going to read the strength card to you because it's the heart of the matter. So just take anything that resonates, leave anything that doesn't. Just be aware perhaps of how your energy affects those around you. And as much as you expect people to respect your traditional beliefs, your rituals, your way of doing things, you also need to respect that other people may have a different way of doing their own things, because we're all different. You know, the world isn't made up of you know, however many people who are exactly like you. No, we all have our unique fingerprint. We all have our own unique way of doing things. And just because something's right for you, Mars in Capricorn, it doesn't mean it's right for everybody else. You're getting a little I'm sorry, from time to time some people do get a little bit of a lecture, so I am sorry that you're getting a lecture today. Again, it might not be you, it might be somebody around you, so take it as it resonates, leave it if it doesn't. I'm sorry that I'm giving you a lecture. Okay, the heart of the matter for you. Gentle influence and strength, courage, fierce serenity, innocence, pure thoughts and actions. And again, if you're Capricorn star sign, Capricorn Sun sign, this may not be your reading, okay? It's mainly for people who have Mars in Capricorn. You may find some things fit, some things don't, but that's because we all have different charts, and I'm looking at this specific element, the interplay between Mars and Capricorn energy. Gentle influence and strength, courage, fierce serenity, innocence, pure thoughts and actions, honest tranquility, gentle leadership, flexibility and strength in the face of uncertainty, purity and integrity. Prompt, the gentle courage of angels. And oh, what a curious sight we must be, she mused. I love this description. This tiny thing perched on its head. Oh my God. Look. Right, okay. I know what a curious sight we must be, she mused. This tiny thing perched on his head, leading the way with her breath. Ah, but they don't know you like I do, he continued, and all the strength you carry. They don't know you like I do. That's what I was saying. It's like you see, it could be literally an animal, or somebody that you're dealing with who's misunderstood. It's like you see them, you see the inner, you see the soul of this person, not the outer way that this person's presenting. Right, okay. Or vice versa, right? Could be the other way around. Ah, but they don't know you like I do, he continued, and all the strength you carry. He could feel a wave of brave tranquility radiating from within her. All that flexible defiance, all that softness, and yet somehow all the beasts, both wonderful and terrible, seemed to take great pleasure in bowing before her. Like, you cannot make this up. All the beasts. What is it? And yet somehow all the beasts, both wonderful and terrible, seemed to take great pleasure in bowing before her. So there's this gentle, it is quite Capricorn energy actually, this very gentle approach to situations where, I mean, Capricorn energy, you may well exude a sense of calm on those around you. You know, it's like Capricorn doesn't need to shout. They don't need to exert their authority over others. They don't need to be the puppet master, because just this very grounded, earthy presence has this kind of calming effect on the people around them. Again, depending on your full placements, but they yield to her quiet strength and fall reverent to her peaceful demeanour, for the power in her breath is calmness embodied. He looked up at her small toes, dangling down into the corners of his vision, and tilted his head back to lick them. She giggled, and leaned down and wrapped her small arms around his neck and gently squeezed. "It's true," she whispered, her love stopping him in his tracks. "What a curious light we must be." Not a sight, what a curious light we must be. Fierce serenity, a graceful nod to the beast, to the fear, to the night. A rooted calm, she claims her power towards the wind, towards the world, towards her light. And that's what I was saying here. Like with this energy, it's like that big scary thing, right? That thing that should be like basically eating her. Like she has this kind of calm serenity where it's like, or you do, this is your energy, right? You have this calm serenity where you're able to kind of like tame the wild beast. Okay. Oh, really interesting reading. It's quite a unique reading, I have to say. It's very, again, it's not a conventional reading here. Four of Inspiration, that's talks about groundedness, stability, foundations. Four means strong foundations. Right, okay, so what's going on outside of this energy? What's going on outside of Mars and Capricorn, please? An energy outside of Mars and Capricorn? Okay, again, this kind of fallout energy. I'm going to take the Page of Cups and the Five of Swords. And then the Seven of Swords with the Sun and the Two of Wands. Getting too many cards. Two more cards, please. Thank you. So the Ace of Swords. One more card. Thank you. Which way? The Fortune. Okay. Somebody has a lot of conflicted thoughts about a situation. It could be that somebody outside of you is coming towards you with an apology. It's a very heartfelt apology. You can see this kind of banging on the chest. It could be that somebody is head over heels, like with a huge crush for you, right? This is kind of like new love, love that's forming, naive, childlike love. It's funny, the Capricorn, again, you may not be Capricorn Sun, because we're talking about Mars in Capricorn, but if you do feel like you want to go and look up a few more Capricorn readings, the last few readings they've been getting this Page of Cups all the time, and what Capricorn was doing was they were distilling emotion, so they were kind of getting right down to the bare bones of their feelings. They were getting down to that child within, right, to this very pure energy. So, but this is now outside of you, because I'm not reading for Capricorn Sun, I'm reading for Capricorn Mars. It's weird to me that I'm reading for an energy, but it's a different energy, it's a different way of that. It's different people but the same energy. It's really confusing to me today. So it could be that you're dealing with a Capricorn outside yourself, possibly. This is Pisces though. So somebody outside of you, they could be head over heels in love with you. They could have a huge crush on you, but they don't know how to tell you because they're conflicted. They may feel a little bit a bit crazy about you, a bit head over heels kind of thing, or it's somebody coming towards you with an apology, or it's something to do with children, but there's this kind of like mental conflict going on with this person. I'm just noticing this figure here, so it's like this is what they're feeling. This is them expressing themselves, but they're not able to express themselves because of this conflict. It can be a conflict of opinion as well. You may have a conflict of opinion about or with a child. Your child, perhaps your son. The Seven of Swords, the Sun, and the Two of Wands. If there's been some deception outside of you, if somebody's been acting in a bit of an unhanded way, you're going to get clarity on this. You're going to have freedom from this situation. You know, the truth is going to come out. It could be that somebody's making a decision. Could be making a decision to travel, to move house, to explore something outside of your home environment, your workplace. It could be this person's thinking about leaving, looking for their freedom. They are perhaps haven't told you yet. I feel like I've got a sense of somebody not speaking the truth here. it could be that somebody has to say you are the boss of a workplace. It could be that somebody has to leave that workplace because they've got this kind of wanderlust energy and they need to leave the situation and travel, but they haven't told you yet. It's going to come with an apology. It's like, I'm so sorry, but this is what's right for me, this is what I have to do. But they're in the head about it, they don't know how to tell you, I think. So they may be being a little bit covert about this. They may be kind of like making plans, looking up travel advice on the internet, planning the journey, but they're kind of trying to do it a little bit behind your back because they're a little bit in the head about how they're going to tell you this, I think. Take it if it resonates, leave it if it doesn't. It doesn't have to be that. That's just a very specific storyline that's coming through. But basically, on a broad level, somebody outside of you is being somewhat deceptive or covert. You may have some sort of warning sign that this is happening. You may have already kind of realized something's up. There is going to be clarity here. This is also freedom. So freedom from deceptive behavior. And then this is somebody outside of you making a choice, having a decision to make. But again, here you've got internal conflict here. You've got, very similar energy here, conflict of the mind, blocking. You may have blocked someone on social media. You may have turned your back on somebody. Trust your instincts in this situation, whatever this is. You've got a lot of nostalgia, possibly for a parent here. This is, again, similar to this Sun card. This is you getting... or somebody outside of you, because this isn't your energy. This is somebody having truth, clarity, gaining a higher perspective, which gives them a sense of clarity in this situation. So it could be that somebody's coming towards you. This is the communication. If somebody's been stuck in their head about how to communicate, this is the communication. This is them saying, this is my truth. This is the situation. This is what's happening. But they are very clear in the thoughts with the Ace of Swords. This may be somebody who's had some sort of idea. But they feel very divinely guided. There's a huge change coming up for this energy outside of you. This person may be taking a risk, a gamble. They may be... really starting a new cycle of the life, a new phase of the life, taking a bit of a leap of faith here. I'm seeing it as kind of almost fool energy. But it's like this person is, they're definitely, I feel like, trying to take control of their own life, trying to gain a sense of stability here. And it's kind of like, I see it as like they're taking the wheel of their own life. They're making their own decisions now. And this might be, if you're coming through as this kind of emperor, quite a controlling energy. That's not necessarily a bad thing. Everybody needs leadership, but they may be breaking away from you because they have a sense that they need to be a little bit more authentic, and they need to kind of like, you may be, again, I'm getting this kind of Scorpio-like energy where it's like, you may be the sort of person who, because you're so grounded, you're so good at kind of running the day-to-day things, you're so good at kind of knowing where the ship is sailing to, navigating, being the head of the family, or being the person who keeps everything all together. You may be the person who kind of dictates, this is what you need to do today. You need to do your homework. You need to go to work. You need to go and do this. You may be this person who kind of runs the lives of the people around you because you're the best person to do it. You're the most organized. You're the most capable. These other people may often rely on you to do that. It's not necessarily a bad thing. However, it feels like almost a situation where, a child who used to depend on you a lot, they've got to an age now where they kind of need to go out into the world and make their own mistakes. They need to figure out how to, who they are as a person. It could be like a teenager who's off to university. It's like this person has to go out into the world now and discover who they are, because they're not you. They're not you. It's funny, I was getting Papa Roach as well. Scars remind me the past is real. I tear my heart open just to feel. And now I'm getting that kind of the Linkin Park song. What is it? I'm just trying to get the lyrics. It's not quite coming through, but it's like I have to go my own way. I have to find who I am. I have to go on this soul journey. So it could be that somebody's doing this outside of you and they just don't know how to tell you. It's like, I know I need to go off to university. I need to cut these strings. And And it's not because I don't love you and I don't appreciate what you've done for me and I don't appreciate the care that you give me and the direction you give me in life. It's just that I have to go and make my own mistakes and learn to stand on my own 2 feet without you constantly being there with this safety net. You know, you kind of need to let me fall a little bit here so that I can learn to get up. If you constantly pick this person up, they're never going to learn how to get up onto their own 2 feet themselves. You see? So again, this puppet, like when they fall down, you puppet master them back up again, but maybe that's not what they need right now. Again, look. This is like, I feel like this is you trying to pull this person up, but they have to learn to stand up themselves. Does that make any sense to you? I'm not trying to give you a hard time here. Like I say, these are all in the upright, so I see this more as you running the show because you're the best person to do it, not because you're trying to manipulate or be you're not trying to be like a devil, right? You're not trying to be controlling. You're just trying to make sure that everybody's okay. But yeah, I think you have to maybe not even cut the cord, but make it more elastic. Instead of having this cord made out of metal chains, make this cord, you know, strong elastic so that this person can. They're showing me a dog on a lead. You know, there's those extendable leads where you can like give them a bit more rein, but they're still on the lead. I feel like you have to give this person a bit more free rein. All right, okay, let's get your advice cards. Oh, that was a complicated reading. Really interesting one though. I've enjoyed it. The answers you need are coming. Full moon in Gemini. So if you've been questioning, if I do feel like you've had some kind of warning signal, you know something's up with this person. I think, you know, the answers you need are coming. And surrender to the divine. Okay, don't try and control this situation, whatever it is. Just let it be, let it happen. You know, slowly give that person a bit more free rein. So you're still there. Like in school, I was doing teacher training for a while. I learned this technique called scaffolding, where it's like different children are going to have different levels of need in a situation. So if you're trying to teach a child something and you automatically give them the answer, they're not learning. If it's like yeah, you can sometimes be a bit too much of a helicopter parent, perhaps, where it's like you're almost giving the person the answer straight away, where if they have a task to do, it's better to kind of pull back that scaffolding, pull back that support, so you can build it up as they need it, but they still have that chance to kind of explore the situation themselves. So it may be like, okay, this is what you've got to do. There you go. How do you do it? Give them a minute to think about it. If they're completely stuck, you say, didn't we do something like this last week? What did you do to solve this last week? And then see if that triggers something and they can remember. If they still can't, then you say, okay, well, what tools do we have here that could help us? How can we use this tool to solve this situation? And so you're prompting them rather than giving the answer. So this is what scaffolding is. And then, you know, maybe you do have to actually say, look, I'll show you how to do it. You copy me, and then you can do it on your own next time. So it's knowing how much support a person needs, and always giving ever so slightly less than what you think they need so that they can figure things out on their own. And when they fall down, you can be there to help them and there to catch them. It doesn't mean you have to take that safety net away completely. It's still there. You can still roll it out if they really need it, but they have to find their own way. It's the way it's coming through. Okay, sorry, I keep giving you a bit of a speech. I'm sorry. Sometimes my guides think that somebody needs a lecture. Maybe you are the sort of person who gives long-winded lectures, right? So giraffe, thanks for me as well, because I really noticed the giraffe on this card. Giraffe spirit, see the big picture. Grasshopper spirit, take a leap of faith. And canary spirit, sing your own song, right? Be authentic. Right, I'm going to read all three of these. It may be that there's different pieces of advice for different people coming in, or it may be that all three pieces of advice are relevant to you. So just take what resonates, leave what doesn't. And then I'm gonna stop for a while, and I'm gonna think I might get myself some coffee. The green tea just hasn't done it for me right now. So here we go. Giraffe spirit, see the big picture. Giraffes stretch upwards to reach put my teeth back in. Giraffes stretch upwards to reach the treetops and look down from a high vantage point. When giraffe spirit appears, it is a sign to observe from a higher view. In all aspects of your life, it's time to stretch your neck out and broaden your view. Open your eyes to see what others need or are experiencing, and see the big picture you fit into. No matter how great your wisdom, knowledge, or experience, and this is what I'm saying, you are coming across with this Emperor energy, and success, and the Devil card here. It's like you are coming through as having a lot of wisdom, a lot of knowledge. You don't want to overlook the details and connections that will help you better understand yourself and your circumstances. So stretch yourself. Look beyond what catches your attention at eye level, and know that not everything is as obvious as you might like it to be. Spirit will bestow upon you a new perspective that might make all the difference. Maybe that's what this is. Maybe this is the universe bringing in a new perspective, bringing in a higher view, clarity of thought. Literally, this is like a staircase, and you're going up the staircase and getting a higher perspective on things. Like seeing the woods and not the trees, right? Getting a bird's eye view. So let's go to 30. My poor throat. I've got 2 more readings to do today. My throat's hurting. Too much talking. Grasshopper spirit, take a leap of faith. Right now you are poised to jump up into the next level of your life. Again, this ascending, right? And move forward into something even better than you could have ever imagined. When grasshopper spirit, remember, this is where you're going. This is where you're heading. Victory and success, leading the charge. 9 of emotions, that's emotional stability, not being codependent. And 10 of emotions, that is happiness shared with others. That is whatever happiness means to you. That's what you're getting, right? So you're going to a good place. When grasshopper spirit appears, it is a fortuitous time to take a leap into the unknown. The grasshopper spirit represents the innovative spirit that says, why not? And has faith in the powers of co-creation. You are being called to trust that this is the right time to go with that idea, relationship, or situation. Take risks, for abundance in all forms will show up for you. I feel like, I don't know if there's a cross watcher here, but I feel like this is this energy here with the wheel. This is taking risks. I was saying I was picking up on that fool-like energy. So if you are a cross watcher watching for somebody else, I feel like this is for you. Wondrous things await when grasshopper spirit appears. You are not going to go backwards, so listen to your intuition rather than your fearful ego that resists any change and clings worriedly to what was. That's this. Luck is on your side. Jump up and forwards with confidence, for spirit has so much in store for you if you only take that leap. Take it if it resonates, leave it if it doesn't. So 12, this canary is talking to me about the authenticity stuff that we were going on about before. Yeah, I know I was going on about stuff, right? I wasn't talking, we weren't having a conversation, I was banging on about stuff. Excuse me. It's canary spirit, sing your own song. Canary spirit arrives to help you find your authentic voice and express what is in your heart. Free yourself to experience your inner light and let it shine. As canary spirit sings to remind you of your inherent joy and to support you as your inherent joy, the joy from within you, and to support you as you sing your own song. Now is the time to let the world know who you really are. Canary's spirit message is that you are free to be yourself and express your most cherished desires. The world wants to hear your song. If your inquiry is about a relationship, you are being called to be fully yourself, for only then will you find harmony and joy. You can make music with others so beautifully when your note rings true. So again, this thing that was coming through up here about the exact same message, right? I can't find the cards now though. Bison spirit. So all this stuff about authenticity, this was talking about authenticity, finding your tribe, right? Authenticity, finding the place that's right for you. And again, the more authentic you are, the more you find that soul purpose within you, the more you find people who resonate with the same soul music. They have the same soul thumbprint as you. So wearing a false mask, you're just going to be in situations that don't work for you. So be authentic is the key message that I feel is coming through today. Right, let's get you one more song before my throat absolutely turns into, I don't know, until my throat turns into like that. That's what it feels like. It feels like I've swallowed a pine cone right now. Thank you, children, for going back to school and immediately bringing a bug home. I remember I was so healthy for so long. Right, okay, so Mars in Capricorn on Thursday. The people coming to this reading, what is the song that they most need to hear, please? What do they really need to hear? When You Believe, Mariah Carey and Whitney Houston, from The Prince of Egypt. What is it? Afraid. Do, 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 do. We've been moving mountains long before we knew we could. Yeah, okay. There are miracles when you believe. So believe in the miracles, and I'm going to leave you with that. And take care, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.